California.
I feel a certain affinity with your style of play because I do like to make up the rules as I go along.
Welcome to the 53rd season of the National Football League. Scores of fans all over the country have been anxiously awaiting this opening day, and none more so than here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where long-suffering Steeler fans feel they finally have a winner. Chuck Noll's team swept through a successful preseason, led by star, toothless Terry Bradshaw. But just as important as Bradshaw's maturation is that Pittsburgh has a horde of good young ball players to grow with their quarterback. In fact, many experts have made the Steelers the favorites in their division. Oakland's John Madden has a different dilemma. He has 3 quarterbacks capable of starting, and none has taken charge during the preseason. There's ancient George Blanda, who is celebrating his 45th birthday today. Nearly 20 years younger is Ken Stabler, who has emerged as the probable starter. But then, too, there's the oft-injured, sometime brilliant Darryl LaMonica, waiting in the wings for his chance. So 4 quarterbacks were in the spotlight as a full house in Pittsburgh's gleaming Three Rivers Stadium waited for the NFL to open a new bag of tricks and mark the beginning of a spanking new season. New players, new coaches, a few rule changes, but most of all, a new chance for 26 teams to win their division and conference titles and go on to the Super Bowl. Today, we are bringing you the NFL Game of the Week, the Oakland Raiders versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers came charging into the season of '72 with high hopes and new enthusiasm, much of it predicated on the fine preseason showing of their offense, led by Terry Bradshaw. Chuck Noll has convinced his young quarterback to stay in the pocket as much as possible. But on Pittsburgh's first series, a strong Raider rush forced Bradshaw to tuck the ball and take off with these results. This play would begin a comedy of errors that would permeate the entire first half. Though Pittsburgh recovered, the damage had been done, and Oakland took over after a punt. But the comedy of errors continued. Chuck Beatty's interception on the tip pass gave the Steelers another chance, this time in Raider territory. But as their fans urged them onward, the turnover tournament persisted. Bradshaw's pass over the middle intended for Shanklin was swiped cleanly by safety Jack Tatum, and the Raiders had the ball on the Oakland 5-yard line. Here in the shadow of the end zone, the turnovers abated, and the Steeler defense took over. Defense is a question mark concerning this Steeler team, but it's pass defense, not the ground defense. Oakland simply had no room to run. This was not unexpected, for led by number 75, Joe Green, the Steeler ground defense did not give up a single touchdown in 6 preseason games. Today, the Oakland Raiders found out why. Mean Joe Green is the veteran, and he's only 25. Flanking him is third-year man L.C. Greenwood, sophomore Dwight White, number 78, and rookie tackle Ernie Holmes, number 63. They are supported by All-Pro and captain Andy Russell, young Jack Ham, and Henry Davis at the linebacker positions. Unable to move at all against the Gold and Black, Oakland was forced to punt. But again, the Pittsburgh defense made the big play. Middlebacker Henry Davis, number 53, blocked the punt and ran it in for the first score of the game. Davis, a 5-year veteran from Grambling, came to the Steelers from the New York Giants 3 years ago, along with Frenchie Fuqua, in exchange for quarterback Dick Shiner. With Davis anchoring the linebacking core and Fuqua, the Steelers' best runner, the trade was a windfall for Pittsburgh. A look at this play from our slow-motion camera reveals there was no breakdown on Oakland's part. Hunter Jerry DePoyster fielded the ball cleanly and got it away. Henry Davis simply made a great defensive play. With Pittsburgh ahead now 7-0, Oakland's troubles were just beginning.
This ESPN Classic presentation is brought to you by Rogaine Extra Strength for Men.
Behind the...
This is ESPN Classic.
Though he recovered his own fumble, the Raiders didn't retain possession for long. Number 59, Jack Ham, continued the defensive virtuosity with an interception that gave Pittsburgh the ball on the Oakland 35. Here, for the first time today, offensive football took over. Terry Bradshaw bulleted a pass over the middle to rookie tight end John McMakin, number 89, who made a diving catch at the Raider 20. Then Terry Bradshaw, on a design play, plowed straight ahead through a gaping hole cleared by his line, broke 2 tackles, and danced into the end zone with Pittsburgh's second score. This is just one of the things that makes young Bradshaw so dangerous to defense. He's got perhaps the finest throwing arm in the NFL, of course, but at 6'3", 215 pounds, he's big enough, tough enough, and certainly more than willing enough to run over you. Bradshaw's rampant enthusiasm is matched by the affection of the Pittsburgh fans for him, and today everybody loved Terry. Now, with Pittsburgh up by 2 touchdowns, Ken Stabler came out throwing. He avoided a hard Steeler rush and put the ball right into and out of the hands of Ray Chester. Chuck Beatty had his second interception. The Steelers had the ball on the enemy 45, and the Pittsburgh secondary seemed to have answered the doubts about their strength. Four plays later, at the beginning of the second quarter, Roy Giralla, with Terry Hanratty holding, kicked a 40-yard field goal to give Pittsburgh a 17-0 lead. That was it for the offense, for the game reverted to the comedy of errors of the early minutes of the first period. Each team seemed to be seeking new ways of giving up the ball. First, George Atkinson, number 43, swiped a Bradshaw pass and returned it 23 yards. Then on the very next play, Stabler passed to Don Highsmith, who made a nice catch, then quickly negated it. Jack Ham's recovery gave the ball to Pittsburgh only temporarily, though. For several plays later, rookie running back Steve Davis coughed it up to Oakland. Finally, John Madden made the expected change, and 45-year-old George Blanda entered the game. But on his first play, the birthday boy handed Pittsburgh a gift. But Pittsburgh couldn't stand the prosperity, and 2 plays later returned the favor. Number 84, Tony Klein's quick reflexes gave Oakland the ball on their own 46 and gave George Blanda a second opportunity. He made the most of it. With less than 2 minutes to go in the half, Off a play fake, Blanda had plenty of time to wait for a receiver to come open. Raymond Chester did for a 23-yard gain. Two plays later, Blanda arched a beautiful pass to Chester again. The agile tight end stepped into the end zone for Oakland's first touchdown of the new season. So at the half, Oakland had narrowed the gap to just 10 points, but their late score could not overshadow the fact that the powerful-looking Steelers had outplayed them for most of the first two quarters.
You don't get in this kind of shape running on the treadmill. You do it with strength exercise, and I do it with a Bowflex. You know, if you're not working out with strength training right now, you need to. Because if you want to lose weight, you got to add the muscle, and that's why you need a Bowflex machine. It's like nothing else you've ever tried before. We've got over 60 exercises you can do on a Bowflex. You're never going to get bored. You can do a full workout in 20 minutes on a Bowflex machine. You're not going to believe how effective Bowflex is the first time you get on it. Bowflex may look a little different, but that's because we designed it to function correctly. Bowflex uses power rod resistance. Bowflex power rods are so effective that Bowflex guarantees results in 6 weeks or your money back. Try going to the gym and getting a guarantee on results. You won't find it. If you call and get our free videotape, you're going to see an effective workout and see how easy.
But that true professional always knows how to dress well. Jim by GM.
Spurred by his late first half touchdown pass, Blanda tried for another quick strike on the second half's first play from scrimmage, but his bomb for Cliff Branch was dropped. Repeating the pattern reveals that an excellent play by Mike Wagner, number 23, actually caused the incompletion. As Pittsburgh has built itself into a contender, the one chink in their steel armor has been susceptibility to the bomb. But on this day, Wagner, Beatty, Lee Calland, and John Rouser, number 48, showed the improvement they had made. Good pass defense is predicated by a good rush, and the Steelers have always gotten this. As Blanda rose from a 3-for-9 second half, he was perhaps thinking of a time when his 45-year-old bones would rest on the sidelines, as many of his passes fell into hopelessly void areas. Unable to hit on passes, Blanda tried the ground. But Charlie Smith's 8-yard run was negated by a Smith 8-yard loss. A repeat reveals a perfect play by one of pro football's premier linebackers. Andy Russell, number 34, fought off Gene Upshaw's block, kept his feet, and made the play. Only the super slow motion camera can accurately reveal what happened when the Raiders were forced to punt. A high snap from center eluded DePoyster. DePoyster eluded Ralph Anderson, number 49, and got off a 10-yard punt. The ball struck teammate Dan Connors, number 55, on the shoulder and headed back toward the Steeler goal. Connors retrieved the ball and headed away from the Steelers' end zone. Net result, minus 23 yards of field position. Given a great starting point from the Raiders' 7, Bradshaw surprisingly went to the air 3 times, and 3 times came up empty, though it was not all his doing. Dave Smith's drop brought on Roy Gerela, and he towed through a 20-7 Steeler lead. On the Steelers' next possession, Bradshaw used his backs exclusively. Preston Pearson, number 26, carried 5 consecutive times as the Steelers ate up the Raider defensive line, huge chunks of hardened turf, and much of the clock. Then Bradshaw went back to the air and hit number 1 draft pick Franco Harris swinging out of the backfield. It is a Steeler strength that all their backs are excellent receivers. From the 2, watch a great block by Pittsburgh center Ray Mansfield, number 56, spring Bradshaw for his 2nd touchdown of the day. The Steelers had controlled the ball and controlled the game, 27-7 after 3 quarters.
Three things I always do before I barbecue ribs. Whip up my secret hot sauce, get the coals just right, and I always take a Pepsid AC.
Whatever's cooking, Pepsid AC can stop heart.
Tomorrow at 6:30, only on ESPN Classic.
It ain't over till it's over.
Though the Steelers led by 20, a game against the Raiders is never over, and they called on Darryl LaMonica, the Mad Bomber. At first, it was LaMonica's legs that moved Oakland. Then a more familiar LaMonica started spiraling. Bob Moore, number 88, ducked under Jack Ham, and the Raiders were on the go again. One completion later, LaMonica spotted rookie wide receiver Mike Ciani, number 49, from 24 yards out. The Steelers' old pass defense nemesis had popped up again. With 10 minutes to go, the Raiders trailed by less than 2 touchdowns. But here the Steelers proved that this may indeed be their year. It took the Steelers just 4 plays to go 75 yards, with Bradshaw hitting number 25, Ron Shanklin, for a 57-yard score and a reaffirmed 20-point lead. While all eyes had been following the flight of the ball, the pass and the catch brought on different reactions. At one end of the play, Bradshaw had been belted as he released the ball, and he left the field in pain. Shanklin had not been touched, yet he rang up the score and received his due accolades. The Steelers led 34-14 with less than 9 minutes to play. LaMonica, however, was not through. Again, he bedeviled the Steeler rush, in particular Joe Green, number 75, and hit Smith for 18 yards. With a first down on the 8, Callan was forced to interfere with Branch to stop LaMonica's perfect pass. Don Highsmith, number 32, brought the Raiders to within 13, but now only 5 minutes remained. That the Steelers could not move seemed academic, for they turned over the ball leading by 13 with only 3 minutes to play. But again, LaMonica was on target to Ciani, this time for 70 yards, and the rookie had 2 scores in his first game as a pro. For his third of the game, LaMonica had completed 8 out of 10 for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns, and now faced only a 6-point deficit with a minute and a half left. Oakland tried an onside kick and nearly got the ball again. Pearson recovered the bouncing ball and the Steelers were safe. A repeat shows how close the Raiders had come. DePoyster's kick headed toward Brian Stenger, number 61, who went to his knees to make a safe recovery. But when Jeff Queen, number 47, slammed into him, the race was on. Pearson got a good bounce, and the Steelers had a vice grip on the game. The Steelers successfully ran off the last seconds and had taken the first step toward their first division championship ever. It is a difficult task to be a preseason favorite, but for the young Steelers, this win over AFC West Division power Oakland will go a long way in building the confidence that's needed as week after week teams take their shot. Raider head coach John Madden knows only too well what life at the top is like. The Steelers can now savor the feeling, but ahead lie 13 games, a long, tough NFL season. If today's game is any indication of the action and excitement that wait ahead, then for the Steelers, the Raiders, and every other NFL team, 1972 is going to be one heck of a year.
This is ESPN Classic.